All right, it's time for Wisconsin to take back the cheese. And by the cheese, I mean the UP.
Can I keep the sausage?
You can have any sausage you want, my guy. Do whatever you need. What you do on your own time is your business, dude. Welcome to Downshift. My name is Matt, and thanks to my friends at Hall Volkswagen in Brookfield, Wisconsin, I'm able to spend the day with the newly facelifted 2025 VW GTI. And what I'm going to do is walk you around all the best and the rest of this car, but before we do that, I actually had a chance to take this thing around Road America's Motorplex at the Mama Spring Rally earlier this year with our friend TopherDrives and TheTopher to get a little lap time and some track experience in this car. So let's check that out.
So I hold it.
Now you're good. The closer it is, the more it sounds like ASMR. So the further away. I have to edit this footage.
Can I put it in my mouth?
You can, but like I have to hear it when I go to edit. Welcome to Downshift, everyone. My name is Matt.
I'm Chris from TopherDrives.
I'm Chris from TheTopher.
And today we're at Mama's Road America, well at Road America's Motorplex with Mama, and we're gonna have a competition for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan. Wisconsin versus Michigan. Whoever gets it, we've got the governors involved, is taking the UP. So here it comes. It's good that there's not cameras like just in the center of the windshield so you can see what we're doing.
All right, first up for Team Gretchen Whitmer. We're in the Mark 8.5 GTI. We're in Sport, ESC off. I'm gonna go manual mode and do a launch control. Matt, thank you for letting me borrow your wife's helmet.
Anytime. Sadie is thrilled that you're wearing it. Wear it with pride.
I'm wearing it with so much pride right now.
This is the graciousness of Wisconsin. We let you borrow our safety gear.
And give us cheese cards. Chris Brower. Chris Brower, cheese. I'll get it eventually. Am I that forgettable?
I don't know. Just NPC vibes, I guess.
NPC, I guess. Good to go. Did you move the seat at all?
Huh?
Did you move the seat at all?
No.
No? All right, here we go.
Good?
Sometimes slow is fast, Matthew.
Slow in and the fast out. This feels pretty good.
The only problem is your cameras are mildly blocking my view.
They take up most of the windshield.
A lot of understeer. Catastrophic understeer.
Oh my god!
Catastrophic.
He's really putting on for Michigan right now.
For you, Gretch.
Do it for the honor of the Oh my god.
That was dreadful. All right.
Let's do it. Let's swap and I'll do it again. So I'll get a real time. So we'll use that time. We'll get one for me.
Okay.
Unbelievable. All right, it's time for Wisconsin to take back the cheese. And by the cheese, I mean the UP.
Can I keep the sausage?
You can have any sausage you want, my guy. Do whatever you need. What you do on your own time is your business, dude.
Hear those all seasons scream.
Yes.
Definitely not on the right tire for this.
Oh, certainly not. But it's fine. Braking while turning is a good strategy. That's the downshift strategy.
Yeah. Oh, you had a better line than me through there.
Doing it again.
Oh, you're good. This is...
Well, that was a little bit too much brakes.
Yeah.
That's a little bit cleaner this time.
Slow is fast.
That's a little bit cleaner. A little too much there.
No, that was good. That was really good. Yep, okay.
Okay. Just a little bit of back and forth.
Wait until the end, until we're across the line to give me
That
whiplash.
feels better. That feels
Thank you.
Yes. If you can hang on through the lap, you're not safe. Well, there you have it. You have a champion, so Michigan gets to keep the UP. Fair enough. Fair enough. But thank you guys so much for having a go.
Hey,
thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
You're welcome anytime in our wonderful station, even though you get to keep your lane.
Okay.
Thanks, Sadie, for the helmet.
Yeah.
Now the first con that we have to talk about has to do with the price, and it's just kind of inherent to it being maybe a German automobile. rather than a Korean or a Japanese. And that just kind of means it's a little more expensive. The GTI for 2025 starts at $32,445, although the Elantra N starts at $34,300, which is more, but that's with every bell and whistle on it, and of course a little bit more power. But if you compare it to something like a Civic Si, that starts at $31,000. Now I don't know about you, but I don't think I would take a Civic Si over a GTI, so maybe this is worth the extra money, and maybe this actually is pretty good value. So maybe we shouldn't have price on the con side of the video at all. And the next thing has to do with power. And it's going to sound a little bit like a mixed bag, because under the hood, we actually have a great engine. It's VW's iconic EA888 2-liter turbo. It's in everything in the lineup. Here it's making 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque. 0 to 60 then is good for about 6 seconds. But here's the thing. Yes, it's more powerful than a rival Civic Si, but it is less powerful than a Subaru WRX, and it's less powerful than a Hyundai Elantra N. And let's not get this twisted. This EA888 is a great engine. It just on paper is making a little bit less power. Just on paper, not as competitive in this tune, in this state of tune anyway. Plus there's the whole reliability conversation. But again, even though it's down on power a little bit to some rivals, it's kind of a tweener between something like a Golf R and something like a Civic Si. So it's hard to bucket this as truly a pro or a con, but personally, if you're really asking my opinion, off paper, I like this engine. And then there's the rear seat, which is actually reasonably spacious for the segment. It does remind you that this is a little bit of a smaller vehicle though. I think something like the Civic Type R or the GR Corolla might have a slightly larger back seat. But you do have cool storage pockets in the seat backs. You've got a climate zone up here on your Autobahn trims. You've got heated rear seats as an option, which is super luxe and really nice for a hot hatch. But the Elantra N will have more legroom, but again, it's a sedan and not a hot hatch. The Civic Si will also have a little bit more legroom, but again, not a hatch. And I think the WRX offered a little bit more legroom as well, but again, same issue. But I don't want you to get the wrong impression. I'm 6'1" and I still have an inch or two of knee room in front of me, and even with my hat, I'm not scraping my nub on the roof. So it's not like it's an inhabitable space for 6-footers. It's just over 6'1", you might get a little bit cramped. Just something to note. And this next point you'll all feel me on, and it's the fact that you can't get the manual transmission anymore. The time has come, it's a total bummer. The DSG is great. I love this gearbox for what it is, but a GTI should have a manual, no? And while they have done a good job at cleaning up some of the UI and giving some more hard buttons back to you, especially on the steering wheel here, there still are a couple slidey, touchy controls around the cabin. You've got a temperature slider, you've got a volume slider, and you have a sunroof slider. So it's still not ideal, but at least you have physical buttons back on the steering wheel, unlike we saw in the Golf R earlier this year. And the slider controls that you have on your head unit are backlit now, so you can do stuff at night and control things like volume and temperature and things like that. So it's an improvement to be sure, it's just not quite perfect, but again, maybe a little bit more of a nitpick than anything because it doesn't really affect the overall experience all that much. But with all those little nitpicks covered, let's talk about all the great things about the GTI. But one of my favorite things, and how could it not be in a GTI, is the driving experience. Now the power from that EA888 only goes to the front wheel, but it goes to the front wheels through a magical ELSD as standard. It's almost as good as that front diff in the Type R. You've got DCC adaptive dampers with 15 different levels of control of rebound and compression and all sorts of stuff. You've got max boost at like 26.1 PSI. The car only weighs like 3,100 pounds and it drives brilliantly. The steering has a nice heft to it. It's not got a huge amount of communication or feedback, but it's got a nice heft to it. The power, the engine is nice and torquey to get you out of a corner. You've got horsepower to carry that power through. The way that it makes power is beautiful and pretty linear for a 2-liter turbo, so assuming you got the right gear. Obviously, I would make sure that if you're gonna do some spirited driving, have your control of the paddles in your hand there. The balance though is pretty beautiful. It sounds decent too, so overall, it is just a nice, fun thing to drive, and when you want to dial it all back, it settles down really nicely. And 2025 is a facelift year. Now they haven't done a lot to the design, but I still think it's nice, timeless, subtle, and handsome. Up front, your headlights are slightly revised. They're going to be adaptive on your SE trims and up. And you've got a full width light up bar that goes into your logo. You've got the 5-pod lower fog lights that feel kind of Porsche. And again, you don't get in the Golf R, so I do think that's a nice part of the GTI. You get the classic red line across your grille, and your grille badge is still there. You've got new wheel options. We've got the kind of 5-spoke flower power, I'd call them, wheels, and they look pretty cool. They're almost Alfa Romeo looking. And peeking out from behind them are big red brakes. And then moving up and back, you've got the GTI logo on either the driver or passenger door. And again, it's finished in red because why not? But then zoomed out, you can see that the proportions are simple, classic, and a nice hatch profile. And this thing hasn't ballooned up inside. It's remained a small and true to form hatchback, which I can certainly appreciate. You can get a black roof option, and it's a nice, clean, and simple design out back. You've got a centered badge that says GTI, and you can use the Volkswagen logo to open the tailgate, which I'm always a sucker for. The taillights are full LED for your Autobahn, and they're really nice, and you've got dual exhaust. So I certainly think it still remains handsome even with the facelift, and I like the slate blue color. So leave it down in the comments what you think and what color your GTI would be. And we just touched on it, but when you're not driving it on a canyon road and you're not going 8, 9, 10 tenths, and you want to just relax and drive this thing to work and commute, it does that really, really well. The daily ability here is fantastic. The DCC, the adaptive suspension, means this thing actually rides really supple when you're not trying to dial it up to the max. You've got the DSG, which again can be nice and sharp and aggressive when you're trying to drive hard, but then it can be really, actually pretty smooth, especially for a dual clutch around normal lower speed parking lot situations. Your cabin isolation, it's pretty good. It's a German car. The ergonomics make sense. The water bottles or the cup holders are in the right spot. You've got plenty of tech and amenities, and it's also pretty efficient when you want it to be. It's rated for 27 mpg, but we got over 32 in the Golf R, and this is going to be even more efficient than that. And when it comes to trunk and practicality, it's a GTI after all. It's not going to be a powered tailgate. I wouldn't expect it to be on a GTI. We're looking at 20 cubic feet of space though, with the rear seats up. They fold 60-40, and with them folded, you're approaching like 35 cubic feet of space, which certainly makes it nice and practical, especially for a small family. And the floor itself can kind of be leveled off into a different shelf if you need a little bit deeper trunk. So that's just kind of nice. You've got storage bins on either side. You've got some grocery bag hangers back here and a privacy cover. So it's a GTI, it's practical. What do you want me to say? And I do want to talk about the cabin experience on the positive side of the video. We've dinged Volkswagen in the past just for kind of some of the cost cutting that they've made in previous years, and just comparing to what it was, we've then put it on the con side of the video. But the truth is, when you look at this, it's still much nicer and much more upscale than you would get in something like a Civic Si, in something like a WRX for sure, and in something like an Elantra N. You've got a multi-tone colorway on your Autobahn trim here. You've got stitching, you've got contrasted piping, you've got heated and cooled seats, you've got a heated steering wheel. I mean, these are really nice luxury features, especially to have a cooled seat. It's a familiar design. The materials are pretty decent quality. Some of the plastics are kind of meh, but you know, you gotta cut costs somewhere. You've got some faux carbon fiber across the dash and into the door cards. The steering wheel has a nice flat bottom with some red stitching and accenting in it. And you have physical buttons on your steering wheel. This is something that we complained about in the Golf R earlier this year, but since you don't have the R button on the steering wheel, you get physical buttons, which is great. They're nice, clicky, they're tactile, they feel great. And then your slider, you still have some sliders on your head unit. They're illuminated though, they're backlit, so you can see stuff at night, which is great. So overall, I really can't complain about the cabin here on the GTI. Now we've talked about the sliders, and we mentioned that the technology can be a tiny bit laggy at times depending on what you're navigating through, but in terms of what you can get, all the features, all the amenities, you're not missing anything on the GTI, especially if you go for the Autobahn. That'll get you a head-up display. You've got a fully digital instrument cluster, which is nice. The black levels are fantastic in typical VAG fashion. And then you got a new 13-inch display donning your dash, and it's much better than it was last year, the pre-facelift. Got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, over-the-air updates. There's no 360 camera, which isn't really something that I would expect from something like this. The Civic Si is not bringing it, the WRX isn't bringing it. None of the competitors are bringing a 360 camera, but this is a Volkswagen, and it'd be nice to have. You've also got vents in the wireless charger. They're like 3 stripes, which kind of feels a little bit like an Adidas thing, which I guess is German to German. But anyway, the point is, the technology here, I've got everything that I could need, and it's executed pretty well. It's certainly an improvement over the past year or 2 or 3 of the GTI. So big win. Hey guys, real quick, Matt here. Just wanted to say I hope you've been enjoying the video. If you have, would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe button. I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but it does go a long way in helping us get access to cars sooner and get access to manufacturer engineers so we can get more information on the cars and get you more information so you can make better decisions. So would really appreciate you hitting that subscribe, like, comment, the whole YouTube thing. But with that, let's get back to the video. All right, GTI. Wheel spin. Power is good. Brakes, nice and progressive. Steering wheel, good diameter. I love the dimpling. No one does the steering wheel dimpling quite as well as VAG. The Volkswagens are always good. The Audis are always really good. It's just nice. Chuck it into a corner. It's willing. It would be more willing if there wasn't a Camry in the way. But it's a good car. It's GTI. I mean, it continues to be a great hot hatch. And the truth is, given the state of the market, I guess you could say, it's kind of the last true to form original hot hatch left. I mean, Honda seems to have abandoned the Civic Si. The Elantra N is kind of a tweener between something like a GTI and then a Golf R. And then, what, the WRX? I mean, none of these are hatches either. You can't get a hatch in the WRX anymore. So, like, this is kind of it. And it's fun. It's still fun. Now the truth is, of course, I'd love to have a manual over here. But when we drove this thing around track with TopherDrives and the Topher earlier this year, it really behaved on track. It was a fun car. It continues to be just like a fun, light, small, tossable thing. They haven't overweighted it with hybrid or plug-in hybrid stuff. It still is pretty true to form to what it always has been. And I think people appreciate that. Wheel spin through second. It is cold and wet today. DSG is great. I also think it's fair to say that this is a pretty decent price. I mean, you can get a fully optioned up one like the Autobahn that we have here. You can show every little feature. Heated and cooled seats. Cooled seats is awesome to have. But when you consider, like, you can get a GTI for 32-ish thousand, 33, 34 with destination, maybe an option or two, paint. Like, I think you're getting a great value here. I really do. You got a decent sized trunk, you got a decent sized back seat. It's not super palatial, but I mean, I'm 6'1" and I could sit back there for, I don't know, from Milwaukee to Madison, Milwaukee to Chicago, something like that, hour and a half, 2 hours, I'll probably be okay. I have heated seats back there. I've got an air conditioner, I've got air vents back there. I mean, it's pretty nice. So I guess I could keep rambling about how nice the car is, but that's kind of the point. It's a nice car. It's still a GTI. And I think some of the updates that they've made to the tech and, you know, the lighting up front, I think it looks cool, and the tech is certainly better, so it's easier to live with. So with that, thank you to all for letting me have a go. Thank you to you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.